Some interesting effects can be easily produced through the nesting of animations within other animations. This lesson will explore this technique. So here I have what appears to be a blank Flash document open up. And in truth, I already have a little movie clip symbol created within my library. So I'm going to drag this out onto my stage so that I have an instance of that symbol for any sort of editing as far as tweening goes. All right, so let's go back to the Properties Inspector. And what I'm going to do is create a basic motion tween here. So let's go out to frame 40, right-click, Insert Frame. I'm going to click on here to actually create a motion tween. And then I think what I'll do is simply go up and then go down and perhaps just kind of shift these guides a little bit so that I have this little animation like this. All right, so that's pretty basic. We've got our motion that simply goes from one side to the other in this arc. But what if I wanted this object to animate independent of what's going on here? For that, what I would do is actually edit the animation within my ball. So let's do that. Let's enter Movie Clip Edit mode by simply double-clicking upon our object. And we can see now that we're within the ball movie clip. And this is the ball movie clip timeline. So this being a basic shape means that we could create a shape tween in here. So let's go to, let's say, frame 20 and insert a keyframe. So now we have two keyframes, 1 and 20, and we'll right-click on frame 10 and then choose to create a shape tween. Going to frame 20, we can then go in and perform some sort of a transform. So maybe I just want this to get small like that, and then get large again. So actually I'm going to move this down to frame 10. So you see I can just grab that keyframe and drag it, just as I do any other frames. And what I'll do is create an additional keyframe on frame 20. So insert keyframe. I'm going to create this span of frames here into another shape tween. Right-click, shape tween. So here we see it starts large, gets small, then stays small. Now I could go in here and I could try to approximate the size from the beginning here. And I actually did a pretty good job there, but if I want to be really precise, I can actually delete the content from frame 20. And you can see now I have a broken shape tween as indicated by this dashed line. Going to frame 1, I can click upon this object, go to Edit, Copy, move to frame 20 once again, go to Edit, Paste in Place. You can see that Paste in Place is going to paste that object in the exact same place from which I copied it from. And now we have this sort of pulsating object here. And by default, everything is actually going to loop. So we're going to have this sort of pulsating object just looping over and over again as it animates across the screen. So let's go back up to scene 1. And note, if we actually scrub through here, movie clip symbol timelines, since they are independent of the main timeline, we're not going to see any animation present in that movie clip symbol as we scrub. However, if we go up to Control and we choose Test Movie, Test, we actually see our object pulsate as it moves across the screen. So we have what is basically a shape tween within a movie clip symbol, which is being motion tweened across the main timeline. And you can have multiple levels of nested animation. It doesn't have to be just one. In fact, if we wanted to, we could actually go into this movie clip symbol, create another layer, and have an entirely different animation also going on as this movie clip symbol animates. So let's just move this guy, let's say down here, just kind of change the color to red. And what we'll do here is just go and insert a new keyframe. We'll once again create a shape tween on that layer. Now note that I'm creating all of this on a separate layer. The reason for that, of course, is because everything that's actually animated in Flash through the tweening engine must be on its own separate layer. It's very important to remember that. So on this last frame for this square, perhaps I'll move it down here on the other side and maybe rotate it. All right, so let's see how this looks when we actually play it back. So Control, Test Movie, Test. So you can imagine some pretty interesting things can be accomplished through the nesting of animation within Flash Professional. So this has been an example of how to use nested animation within Flash Professional CS6.